So, where do I even begin with Hyliion's earnings? Because we got a lot of information. It's very simple information, but we got a lot of it today. Let's start with the stock price. Right now, Hyliion is sitting very close to their all-time lows yet again. Let's go over as far as their estimates itself. They came in at an EPS beat, but given all the other news, that doesn't really matter. Let's be honest, no one really cares. The revenue was a almost total miss, surprise of negative 64%, 96K. That was their revenue, and given everything else, it's all gonna make sense. So I guess we could start here. This is their earnings PDF. They completed their strategic review of their powertrain business, which, I mean, I don't have to tell you what that entails. Basically, they were deciding what to do with their ERX, since according to them, they did not have the customer demand to continue, and they did not have the capital to continue after the release of the ERX. Well, to the surprise of no one, they have decided to wind down their powertrain operations. This includes the ERX and the hybrids. They are no longer in that business at all. They claim they will preserve it for future seller or use, but as far as we're concerned as investors, the ERX is dead. The ERX is dead until it's not. On top of that, they laid off 175 employees, which was 2/3 of its workforce. So things are not going well for Hyliion. And then Hyliion spent the rest of the remarks part of the earnings call talking about KARNO and how great it is. And don't get me wrong, I think KARNO it sounds fantastic. I don't have a problem with Hyliion's products themselves. I think they're fantastic. And if KARNO was introduced by a company other than Hyliion, I'd be all for it. Because my problem isn't with the products themselves, it's with the company around it. In my opinion, it would take an investigative journalist to find out, but from what I'm seeing, I don't think it's well handled. I mean, listen, the last earnings call and the earnings call before, and all on their Twitter and stuff, they were nothing but excited for the ERX. There was no indication that there were any problems. And now all of a sudden, a few weeks before this earnings report, they decided, a few weeks to a month before this earnings report, they decided that, now there's a problem. And they indicated both, I think, in the remarks part of the latest report, and definitely in the Q&A, that prior to this, they've explored other options. They tried to do a merger or sell their business to someone else, someone that actually has money. They tried to explore financing options. But none of those panned out, according to them. So no one is interested in ERX, and no one is interested in giving them money for the ERX. How long, over what period of time did that happen? I don't think he mentioned that. But, I mean, during the earnings, when they were excited about the ERX, they had to have known. In my opinion, they had to have known. And so, yeah, in my opinion, I think... Now, a lot of it's due to the macroeconomic headwinds, which no one can control, but I do think, in my opinion, that things could have been done a bit differently. Now, to put their outlook in perspective, in case you had any questions about how the wind down of the ERX is going to affect their revenue, there's going to be no more revenue. Unless they surprise us, unless they surprise us, there's going to be no revenue until late 2024 when they... If you believe them, if you believe Hyliion, and unless they're wrong, their first revenue is going to be in late 2024 with KARNO. And I don't quite remember the amount Thomas said on the call. I don't remember if it's 1 to 3 million or 0.1 to 0.3 million. I do recall that it was low. So when they first start getting revenue, which is a whole year from now, it's not going to be a lot. Another thing I want to point out, this came in separate from their earnings, is that they received a standards notice that their stock has dropped below $1 and all that fun stuff. Now, this right here is initially scary, but they will probably reverse split out of it. It's not a huge deal other than a huge psychological walk of shame for the company. Now, depending on what you think about Hyliion, this next bit of news is either good or bad. But Hyliion is nowhere close to done. As you can see here, they still have a lot of capital, and their estimated burn for next year is 40 million. So whether KARNO comes through as they said or not, they have enough cash to survive in some manner for years on end. Definitely not enough to thrive, but they have enough to survive for a while, a long time. Now, I don't know what's going to happen to the stock price. I mean, as you can see, where are we at? After hours, it's already going up slightly. We don't know what the stock price is going to do. I mean, it's a penny stock, so it's going to fluctuate wildly. It could go beam stock. I don't know. And there's always a chance that this could go very well for the company over the long term. So they turtle down, they rein in all their expenses, they focus purely on KARNO. Assuming KARNO actually does well over the next few years, their revenue grows, their capital grows, and they're back in business. Now, that time period is going to be a few years out, so you're going to have to deal with a year of Hyliion not doing much, but Hyliion does have a chance to come back. So as far as what I believe as a final thoughts, I mean, this is a complete shit show. I have zero trust in Hyliion whatsoever. Like, if I was thinking about investing in Hyliion, I'm definitely not now. Like, the KARNO sounds really, really cool, but given the company around it, I would need to wait all the way until the KARNO comes out and see it do well to see Hyliion actually succeed on a project before I consider investing in them again. But beyond that, outside of that, no. I mean, it's a very interesting company to look at, but that's all it is. But anyways, take care, have a great day, and eat your vegetables.